Enjoy a narrated virtual tour of the helicopters exhibited at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. See photos and videos that cover a range of helicopters beginning with the R-4B Hoverfly through the MH-53M Pave Low IV. The museum is free to visit and located on the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Southwest Ohio. The R-4 Hoverfly was Sikorsky's and the world's first production helicopter and the Army Air Force's first service helicopter. The Hoverfly performed the first U.S. helicopter rescue flight when it carried life-saving blood plasma from New York City for the casualties following the explosion and sinking of the USS Turner. The Hoverfly also conducted the first combat rescue by helicopter in the China-Burma-India theater during World War II. During its service life, the Sikorsky H-5 Dragonfly flew rescue and mercy missions throughout the world. During the Korean War, it repeatedly rescued United Nations pilots who were shot down behind enemy lines and evacuated wounded personnel from frontline areas. While it was more powerful than its R-4 and R-6 cousins, it suffered from a center of gravity issue when there were no passengers. This issue was overcome by the proper use of 125 and 150-pound weights. The Sikorsky-designed R-6A Hoverfly II helicopter was a refined version of their R-4 Hoverfly as it had a more powerful engine and redesigned body. Although primarily an observation and liaison helicopter, Hoverfly IIs could carry litters and capsules on each side of the craft. Other special equipment included bomb racks for up to 650 pounds and floats for water operation. Bell's UH-13J was the U.S. Air Force's version of the reliable Bell Model 47J Ranger helicopter. Two UH-13Js were purchased in March 1957 for use as the first presidential helicopters. On July 12, 1957, President Dwight D. Eisenhower became the first chief executive to fly in a helicopter when he lifted off from the White House lawn in the sister ship of the Sioux on display. Sikorsky's H-19 Chickasaw holds the distinction of being the U.S. Army's first true transport helicopter and played an important role in the initial formulation of Army doctrine regarding air mobility and the battlefield employment of troop-carrying helicopters. Many Chickasaws were assigned to air rescue squadrons as SH-19s. It carried a 400-pound capacity hoist mounted above the door, and it could also carry an external sling capable of holding 2,000 pounds. During the Korean War, Chickasaws became the primary Air Force rescue and medical evacuation helicopter. The Air Force acquired the Cayman HH-43 Husky primarily for local base rescue and fighting aircraft fires. A Husky on rescue alert could be airborne in approximately 1 minute with a fire suppression kit hanging beneath. Huskies often reached crash sites before ground vehicles arrived, and the foam from the fire suppression kit plus the powerful downwash of air from the rotors opened a path for rescuers to reach trapped crash victims. They were the first U.S. Air Force rescue helicopter to arrive in Southeast Asia and the last to leave. Their air crews saved more lives in combat than crews flying any other Air Force helicopter. From 1966 to 1970, they performed a total of 888 combat saves, 343 aircrew rescues and 545 non-aircrew rescues. This Bell UH-1P Iroquois served in South Vietnam with the 20th Special Operations Squadron flying highly classified missions. It was later converted to a UH-1P gunship equipped with 2 rocket pods and 2 miniguns. This Iroquois is painted to appear as the one flown that rescued a small reconnaissance team that was about to be overrun by a much larger enemy force, for which the pilot earned the Medal of Honor. Sikorsky's HH-3 Jolly Green Giant was a CH-3 modified for combat rescue missions with armor, defensive armament, self-sealing fuel tanks, a rescue hoist and in-flight refueling capability. With a watertight hull, the Jolly Green Giant could land on water, and its large rear door and ramp permitted easy loading and unloading. They performed combat search and rescue missions to recover downed airmen during the Southeast Asia War. A quarter of a century later, Jolly Green Giants participated in Operation Desert Storm, and they provided rescue support in the early years of the Space Shuttle program. Sikorsky's CH-3 is the Air Force version of the Navy's S-61 amphibious transport helicopter and a veteran of the Southeast Asia War. This vehicle, the Black Maria, was attached to the 20th Helicopter Squadron. Painted flat black, hence the nickname, It was used for highly classified special missions. Air Force Special Operations Forces used the Sikorsky MH-53M Pave Low IV to covertly enter enemy territory. Capable of operating day or night or in bad weather, these helicopters conducted long-range, low-level missions to insert, extract, and resupply Special Operations Forces. After serving in Vietnam, it flew in many more combat engagements including Operations Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom before it was retired. I hope you enjoyed this narrated virtual tour of helicopters exhibited at the Air Force Museum. If you would like to tour other aircraft in this series, you will find convenient links in the description section below this video. Here are YouTube suggested links on a similar topic that you may enjoy viewing.